My uncle took me in after my parents died. I was never supposed to leave. After my parents died in a highway accident, no one in my family wanted me. No cousins, no grandparents, no distant relatives. Except my uncle. He lived alone in our ancestral house on the edge of a small town in Madhya Pradesh. A place people avoided after sunset. Tall iron gates that screeched when opened. Neem and banyan trees growing too close to the walls, like they were trying to get inside. The rooms smelled of dust and old paper. My uncle welcomed me warmly. Too warmly. He hugged me, smiled constantly, and watched me like he was afraid I might disappear. That should have been my first warning. On my very first night, he asked my age 3 times. Then my exact birth date. Then the exact time I was born. He wrote everything down in a thick leather diary and locked it inside his desk. I told myself he was just lonely. The house had rules. The basement was locked. The west wing was never opened. And I was not allowed outside after sunset, no matter what. The caretaker auntie barely spoke to me at first. But one afternoon, while stitching a tear in my kurta, she whispered something strange. She said 2 children had lived there before me. Both orphans. Both close to my age. Both gone. She laughed nervously and said children run away all the time. But her hands were shaking. That night, I dreamed of standing in a dark room as water slowly rose around me. First my ankles, then my chest. I couldn't move. Across from me stood a boy and a girl. Their clothes were soaked, clinging to them like they'd been pulled from a river. They didn't speak. They just stared. I woke up choking for air. The next morning, deep scratch marks covered my bedroom door. Long vertical lines, shoulder height, too deliberate to be animals. When I showed them to the caretaker, she crossed herself and begged me to lock my door every night. She told me not to tell my uncle. After that, the house felt alive. Footsteps echoed in empty corridors. Soft crying came from the study at night. Something moved beneath the floorboards while I slept, and my uncle started watching me more closely. On the evening of my birthday, he smiled in a way that made my stomach tighten. He told me to come to his study at 11. He said he had something important to show me. That night, the wind howled like the house was fighting back. At 10:45, I heard whispers outside my window. The boy and girl stood beneath the neem tree, but this time, they weren't sad. They were calm. The girl placed her hand over her chest and slowly shook her head, warning me. The boy pointed toward the study. I understood. I ran. The study door was open. My uncle sat motionless in his chair, eyes wide, staring at nothing. On the desk lay his diary. I read everything. He believed ancient rituals could free him from death. He believed the hearts of 3 children would buy him eternity. 2 hearts were already taken. Mine was meant to be the 3rd. The diary ended on a single page, the writing jagged and smeared. They came back. The police said it was a heart attack. No questions were asked. The house was sealed. I was sent away. Years have passed, but sometimes I still feel a weight in my chest, a heaviness that doesn't belong to me. On windy nights, I dream of standing under that neem tree. 2 figures beside me. Not broken, not angry, whole. And I wake up knowing something terrifying. The dead didn't save me. They finished what they started.